If you feel overwhelmed by your home and like you can't ever catch up, this video is for you. Hello everyone, welcome to Minimal Mindful Mama. I'm Katie Mixon, I'm a mama of four, and I love helping other moms to declutter and organize their lives so that you can live the life you want to live. When I had my second daughter, I was extremely overwhelmed by my home and just feeling like I couldn't ever catch up and actually enjoy spending a day with my kids. If that resonates with you, be sure to stick around because today I'm going to share how to start decluttering and addressing that overwhelm. And be sure to stick around to the very end because I have a really exciting announcement for you guys. I realized that it wasn't that I was bad at cleaning or organizing, it was simply that I had too much stuff in my home. Some of the stuff I really didn't even care about. It had just accumulated along the way, and that was clutter. When I began to look at my home through the perspective of what are the things that I actually use and that I truly love, and what stuff is just sitting here taking up space that I don't use and I really don't even care about, I was able to start to declutter and address that overwhelm and get my home to a point over time where I felt like it was manageable. I felt like I could clean up in an hour or two and have my house ready to go. I felt like it was okay for me to sit down and play with my kids for a little bit because I would be able to still get everything done that I needed to in that day. So if you're not sure where to start with decluttering, the first thing I recommend doing is thinking about what your priorities are. What are the things that you love and enjoy that your family prioritizes that are important to you? For some, it might be sports. For others, it might be music. Everyone's going to have different priorities and different things that are important to them, and therefore different things that you're going to need to prioritize space in your home for. This can help serve as a mental reframe so that as you do begin to declutter and go through your things, you can determine, does this match up with my priorities? Or is this something extra that I would like to do but just doesn't really align with our family's priorities right now? My next tip, if you are feeling overwhelmed by the idea of decluttering, maybe you know where you need to declutter or what you need to declutter, but it just feels like so much. I recommend finding a friend to help you do your decluttering. Body doubling is a really helpful tool, whether you're neurodivergent or whether you are neurotypical. It can be really helpful and motivating to just have a friend there with you helping, or even just to keep you company while you work. If you don't have a friend that you feel comfortable having over to do this with you, although most of your friends, if they're good friends, probably would be happy to help you and feel honored that you invited them over to help you with your space. But if you don't have someone that you feel comfortable asking, then I recommend putting on a video of someone else decluttering or organizing. I have a couple other creators that I follow on YouTube that are always super motivating to me when I put on their videos while I'm decluttering because it feels like I have a friend that I'm doing it with. They also often give me ideas and inspiration of ways I can go about organizing that are super helpful. There's also some decluttering shows on Netflix. Home Edit is fun to watch. So it can help to kind of take your mind off of the monotony and also keep you going. My next tip is to start small. Pick a drawer or cabinet and just work on that one area for that day. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to declutter an entire basement, or you'll quickly end up with a giant mess and feeling very burnt out. If you do have a larger project like that you need to tackle, just pick one bin or one little area and work on that. And then when that's complete, hopefully that will help to motivate you and give you that sense of accomplishment that can keep you going on another section another day. The next tip that I have for you is to not take too much time decluttering. Try to make snap decisions. Is this something I love and use, or can I get rid of it? If you're torn, put it aside for now and move on to something else that you can make that snap decision. It can be really easy to get bogged down when we're decluttering, and the goal is to just clear out as much of our space as quickly as possible. If there's some of those maybe decisions, you can always make those later, but if you can get rid of the bulk of the clutter with those snap decisions, your space will already be so much lighter that if there's things you're torn on, it might not matter as much if you do hold on to those for a while longer. Another thing you can do with those maybe items is put them in a box and put a date on it. And then on that date, you can determine, did I need to go back in that box and get those things out because I needed to use them? Or did I totally forget what was even in this box and I feel fine getting rid of it now? Another way that I like to mentally approach an area that I want to declutter is by trying to imagine the room empty. I like to imagine I'm moving in and this room is completely free of things. And then I like to try to mentally add back in what I would put in that room and notice the things that I don't immediately want to add back in. It's a good sign that those might be things you can declutter. Another tip I have for you is to not get bogged down by how you're going to remove these things from your home. If you want to sell things or donate them, that's wonderful. But if the idea of selling stuff is too stressful and you feel like you're going to have to take a lot of time and list all the items, then don't even worry about it. It is totally fine to load up your car and drop it at Goodwill. It is totally fine to throw things out if they're broken. Don't feel like you have to repair or find everything the perfect home. This is about freeing up your space and helping you to feel lighter. And so we're trying to not add in activities that are going to make you feel more stressed. There's all sorts of methods to approaching decluttering. There's the mins game where you take a month and the first day you declutter one thing and the second day you do two things and so on and so forth. Or maybe you're going to be the kind of person who just wants to tackle it all in a week and get it done and over with. Maybe you're going to take it slower and declutter a small area and then wait a few weeks and then tackle another area. Different approaches are going to work well for different personalities. So don't feel like you have to take a certain approach because that's what someone said worked well for them. Whatever feels like it would be a helpful approach for you is probably what's going to work well for you. Another tip I have for you is that if there's a pain spot for you in your home, something that has just been bothering you because you know it's cluttered, or maybe it's just not currently functional, maybe it's stressful for you every day when you have to use this area and it's just unusable. It might be a good idea to start with this area. Even though it might be bigger of a project, having that area be functional again might just be the super motivation that you need to help you to keep going for the rest of your house. Once I had decluttered my home, I found that it felt so much simpler to go about my day and it felt so much more manageable. I was definitely sold on decluttering and living with the things that I love and use and letting go of excess. But just because you decluttered once doesn't mean that it's always going to stay that way. We constantly have things coming in and going out of our home. So plan to work decluttering into your regular routine. It may not be as much or as big of a project as it was if this is the first time that you've ever decluttered, but having a regular time that you go through and check for any extra clutter that you might want to pass along will help you to maintain that vast amount of work you did at the beginning. If you have kids, they get older and outgrow things. We as people even change, our seasons of life change, and different things become important in different times. So as the years go on, there will always be more things that you can declutter. And if you just keep that in mind as you live your life and as you shop for new things, it can really help you to stay on track and to avoid your home becoming overwhelming again. I hope these tips were helpful to you. I have a really exciting announcement. I have been working hard behind the scenes to create a step-by-step guide to help you to declutter and organize your home. And so I've created the Minimal Mindful Mama ebook to help you to become a more minimal mindful mama. This is a guide to help you to simplify your life so that you can enjoy motherhood. It is full of all sorts of helpful tips and information. It goes over decluttering and decorating your home. It goes through room by room, as well as having a seasonal section. It includes a ton of my best tips and even some recipes. I've worked hard to make this as helpful and useful a resource as possible. I'm really excited about it, and I really think that you will love it too. It even has printables in the back with checklists and bucket lists. So if this is something that you're interested in, be sure to check out the description box down below. I'll also have it linked in the comments. So be sure to check that out. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe before you go. It really helps me out, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy decluttering, and I'll see you very soon in the next video.